Hi everyone, and welcome to Grateful Living Cruises. Thank you for stopping by. Today we have an exciting topic and video. We are talking about Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas. We recently took my mom and her best friend from high school on a cruise on Voyager of the Seas for my mom's 75th birthday. And we had a blast. It was so much fun. And so I want to talk to you guys today about the pros and cons of the Royal Caribbean Voyager of the Seas and to see if it was worth the cruise that we took together. Now, these are also just my opinions, so take that as you wish. But I do believe I have a unique perspective. I'm a big guy who likes to travel, and my mom happens to be disabled. She needs a disability room with the motor scooter to get around in, and therefore we have a different perspective than many people may have. So these are my thoughts from our cruise and our vacation and our time together, and I hope that you get some value from this video. Now, my name is Scott, and this channel is dedicated to living life gratefully, going on cruises, all things cruises. And I am a big guy, so I have a different perspective. I like to cruise solo often, as well as cruising with my friends and family. So I'm hoping that this channel is able to provide different perspectives and opinions, and it will give you the information to make your next cruise wonderful. So let's get started. Royal Caribbean Voyager of the Seas is one of my favorite class of Royal Caribbean ships, the Voyager class ship. And so today we're going to talk about the things that I liked and didn't maybe like as much about our journey, and just share with you guys my general information about the trip. So let's start with the thing that everyone wants to know about. Dining and food. You go on a cruise, you're gonna eat, right? So let's start off with the dining options. Now, we were on a vacation for my mom's birthday, and we had my partner with me and my mom's best friend with us. So we ate at the main dining room every single night, and we absolutely had the best experience in the dining room. Now, part of that experience, I think, was the incredible wait staff that we had. We actually became really great friends with the wait staff and Bianca, who was our assistant server. I'll show you guys a picture of them, but they were fantastic. And you know, I think in general, the experience you get on Royal Caribbean in terms of service is really fantastic. But in the dining hall, these people worked so hard, and they really, really made our experience wonderful. So in addition to the fantastic service, the food was actually really good as well. We actually really loved the bread basket. Some cruise lines, you only just get like one little piece of bread at a time. But on Royal Caribbean ships, you get a whole bread basket. And the bread changes each night as the theme of the dining changes alongside. So we really enjoyed that. The butter, it was so good. My partner said to make sure I say that the butter was really good for the bread basket. So we really enjoyed that. The themed nights were really nice. Every day the theme would change. So Caribbean night, Italian night, etc., etc. And we really enjoyed having those different themes and options to choose from. And even though my mom didn't care for every single dish she tried, she was able to be more adventurous than normal because they did allow her to return anything that she didn't really care for. This was my mom's very first ever cruise. 75 years old. Had never even seen the ocean before. So for her to be able to experiment and try different things was really nice, and they were so pleasant about the entire experience. We really just loved it so much. Now, in addition to the main dining room, they have the Windjammer buffet, and I have to tell you, compared to other cruise lines I've been on, the buffet here, was it stellar and like the most incredible thing I've ever had? No. But it had tons of options for different types of diets. So for example, we do not eat pork, and they had plenty of non-pork options. They had plenty of vegetarian options. They had cuisines from all around the world. So no matter where you were from, you would be able to find something that you enjoyed. And I really appreciated that, because I've been on some cruise ships where it was kind of a struggle to find something in the buffet that in some nights or lunches I would actually be able to eat and enjoy. So I really think the Windjammer buffet, especially here on Voyager of the Seas while we were there, was really offering a variety of things, and we were always able to find something that we liked. We mainly ate there for breakfast and lunch because dinners were in the main dining room. But even for breakfast, I really appreciated that they had fresh cracked eggs that they were frying in all different varieties that you could just pick up and go. You didn't have to wait on anyone. They had omelets that were ready that you didn't have to wait on anyone. And it was just really easy to pick it up and go. I've been on other ships where you've had to wait in line for them to crack an egg, for you. And here it was just, they always had them ready and you just grabbed them and went to your seat. Seems like a small thing, but I really appreciated the Windjammer for that as well. I also loved how the Windjammer is typically, at least on the Voyager class ships, on the very aft, the back of the ship. I really like to be able to sit there and watch the wake behind the ship as we're going along. I think that's really a pleasant experience. And I also like how the seating kind of goes around the whole back end of the ship, so there's always some kind of view to look at. I really enjoy that as well about the Windjammer buffet on this Voyager of the Seas cruise. So, in other regards to dining, yes, a lot of people talk about how Royal Caribbean, compared to other ships, may not have as many free offerings or free grab-and-go offerings. And whereas that may be true, I feel like what we did have on the ship was more than sufficient. We did partake in one of the specialty dining meals for my mom's birthday, and they made it so special. It was so worth the money we spent. It was Giovanni's, which is the Italian restaurant, and I'll show you guys some images, but they really made my mom's birthday evening very special. I really enjoyed it. We had a great time. And so whereas they may not have as many offerings, they go above and beyond on their specialty dinings to make sure that what you're paying for is really sufficient for what your expectations may be. So we had a fantastic time and definitely would recommend that to others, especially if you have a special occasion. So let's talk about the rooms. So everyone loves to know about the rooms on any ship that you go on. Our situation was a little unique because my mom is disabled and she needs to use a power scooter. We needed to find a handicap accessible room that was also connected to our balcony room. So we ended up getting my mom a junior suite, handicap accessible, and then we found a connecting balcony, regular balcony stateroom that was connected to her room. So we were able to make her feel comfortable that we were right there if she needed us, but we also were able to still have a balcony room. Now, the fantastic thing about the junior suite is not only did you have the normal beds and everything, but you had a whole separate seating area, a huge walk-in closet, a large bathroom, and a big balcony that even had the little ramps for the handicap accessible chairs and such. So her room was fabulous. Like, it was so large, it was roomy, it had plenty of room for her power chair. So I'll show you here a picture that we took inside her room while she was on her chair. And our room was just a basic regular balcony cabin, but it was plenty of space for the two of us, and we felt good knowing that we were right next door to my mom. So we enjoyed that. The bathroom in our stateroom, most of these bathrooms are not the biggest, and as a big guy, that's sometimes a problem, but I didn't have any trouble. I was able to manage just fine, And I was very appreciative that although the shower was kind of small, it wasn't a shower curtain. It was the glass that, pulls apart. And to me, sorry, my dog, to me, that shower with no shower liner and the glass is so much better, because I get the heebie-jeebies with shower curtains, and I also feel like the glass gives you more room. So overall, I was perfectly fine with the room setup, and I was so happy that we were able to get the connecting rooms. We're doing the same thing at the end of the year. We're going to Alaska on celebrity cruises, and we're doing the same setup there. So my mom will be in a room that's connected to ours, and it'll be very nice as well. So the rooms, definitely, I think, not a problem there as well. Now, let's talk about entertainment. So I personally love that kind of classic cruise, big theater, multi-tiered theater where you have the big stage and the big productions. All of the Royal Caribbean Voyager class ships, and including this Voyager of the Seas, have that kind of royal theater setup. And they have great shows. They have Broadway style shows. Some ships have actual Broadway shows. They have all kind of entertainment, comedy, just any kind of thing you can think of, they have it. And it's really a good production. You can tell that they spend a lot of time and effort to make sure that their productions are nice. The only thing I would say about the Royal Theater and any of the venues where they're having entertainment is, especially if you're like my mom and you're in a wheelchair or you have special needs for your seating arrangements, you might want to make sure to get there really early, because sometimes there's not enough room for all the little wheelchairs and scooters. So that was one thing that we would have probably made sure that we did a little better. If we did it again, just make sure that we're early so that we can get good seats. But overall, the entertainment itself was amazing. Now, I also love that Royal Caribbean has the ice skating rinks in a lot of their ships. To me, that's something that you don't really find when you're sailing with different companies, and we really enjoyed the ice show. You want to get here early again, because this show definitely fills up. But it's so cool to have something different, and everyone loves ice skating no matter what age. And so it's definitely a great event for all ages in your group. They also allow some periods of time where the ice skating rink is open for passengers. So when there's not a show going on, they sometimes open it up and you can go test out your ice skating abilities. I did not do that. But yes, it's really fun. I love it. I've gone to all of them, and sometimes I go multiple times if it's a longer sailing and they have different shows. But if you're the type of person that is into the thrills, you're not left out on this ship either. The Voyager of the Seas has all kind of thrilling activities. They have the rock climbing wall. They have the flow rider, which is the surf simulator. They have the mini golf. They have the dual racing slides. I think it's called the Perfect Storm is what it's called. And they have laser tag, and they have an arcade room. So if you're a thrill seeker, you're not going to be left out on Voyager of the Seas. There's tons of things to keep you occupied for sure. Now, I will say that my partner, I did not go to the gym, but my partner said that the gym on Voyager of the Seas was really nice. He really enjoyed that. And he also liked that although it's not a huge ship, it is a big ship, but it's not like a mega ship. But it's also not a tiny ship. So whereas, it may feel like you're still on a big ship because you have all the amenities, it was easy to get around. Even when there may have been backed up lines, like if you go to the Windjammer in the peak of the day, it was still flowing, right? And so that takes us to the next point, which is the ship design. This is really important to me because I feel like the design of the ship can really have an impact on your overall experience on that cruise ship. And I think different people are attracted to different types of designs. So for me, I absolutely love the Royal Caribbean ships that have the Royal Promenade. So that's like the area that looks like a shopping mall. And I just love that because I feel like it gives a strip of the ship in the main portion of the ship where they have a lot of bars and restaurants and shops, and it makes it feel open and airy, like you do not feel claustrophobic compared to some of the ships that have like the zones. Sometimes when you're in one of the zones, you feel more open and airy, but then it's like kind of claustrophobic going in between. So I love the ships, and Voyager of the Seas does have the Royal Promenade. I think it's fantastic. It's pretty. It looks grand. It feels open and airy and spacious. I really think it makes the ship feel larger, and I really, really love that about Royal Caribbean ships that have this. Also, the general size of Voyager of the Seas is, to me, one of my favorite sized ships. Now, my partner prefers the larger ships, the mega ships that have like tons of activities, but I sometimes feel a little overwhelmed on those big ships. So Voyager of the Seas, I would say, and all the Voyager class ships are a little bit like the medium-sized ship is what I would call it. I could be wrong on the technicalities of that, but it has a maximum capacity of 4,000 passengers. So to me, it's big. It has a lot of the amenities that the big ship has, but it doesn't feel as crowded. You don't feel like you're just on top of people. And so I appreciate that. And so again, that's a personal preference, but you'll have to tell me in the comments what you guys think about what size ship you prefer. I'm actually about to go on Jewel of the Seas, which is a smaller, older ship. And I'm kind of excited to see how I like that, because everyone says, you know, you either love it or you hate it, depending on your preferences. But I'll do a video about that later. So I will say Voyager of the Seas, in terms of ship design, it was built in 1999. It had a major renovation in 2019, and so it got retrofit with a lot of cool things and restaurants and slides and things, but there are still portions of the ship that you can tell it was built in 1999. But you know what? I didn't even really care, because it had so many of the things that I loved, and it was the right size to make me feel comfortable, that I didn't really care. So I know some reviews out there will talk about the age of the ship, but listen, if the age of the ship is super important to you, then this may not be one that you love. But if you're like me and you're more about the experience and everything else that goes with it, I think you will definitely be just fine in regards to that. So overall, I would say the Voyager of the Seas is absolutely a wonderful choice if you're looking for a great vacation on a large but not overwhelming ship. You know, I really enjoy it. In fact, the Voyager class of ships is probably one of my favorite. I'm going to do a video on all of the Voyager class ships and what I think about the pros and cons of each of those as like a group setting. That'll be coming, but I love this class of ship, and I think that if you kind of have the same personality type as I do, I think you'll love it as well. So I hope you're able to get some good value from these opinions of mine on Voyager of the Seas. And if you did get something out of this, I hope that you will like and subscribe to my channel. I plan on doing a lot more videos like this, and future videos will have more video content of the ships and of my journeys. This sailing was kind of one of my first ones where I kind of thought, man, I should really start providing some information for people on YouTube, because there are a lot of people who are looking for the same type things that I'm looking for. But all of my other videos have a lot more content in terms of just video. So I'll be sharing a mix of video and photos and just general information going forward. So if you liked this information and you want to see more content that's useful for you, I'm happy to provide that, and you'll be seeing more on my channel. So make sure to stay tuned. So just remember, guys, this channel is all about allowing ourselves to live life with gratitude and just being happy the best way we can, bringing positivity into our lives. And I really do believe that when we do bring positivity and we allow ourselves to be open, positivity will come our way. I'll talk to you guys soon.